Hello, my wonderful people. I greet you all according to my time. My people, the worst has happened, my people. Tinubu don't use this matter take tie himself. This Tinubu, he don't tie himself with rapper, my people. I talk and say Tinubu go do something. Wey go be say he go come dey drag himself, he no go fit comot. My people, make una hear wetin happen for court today. Tinubu don provoke tribunal judges today, my people, because of lie wey he lie against Peter Obi. You see am? I talk am say one day be one day, all these things wey he dey do, he go use am tie himself. At the end, he go come dey drag himself. My people, make I leave una jeje, make una by una sef watch this analysis, and make una no forget, make una hit the like button, make una share this video, make other people see wetin happen for court today.
Tinubu provokes tribunal judges after telling this lie against Peter Obi. Breaking news. Hello people, welcome back once again to my YouTube channel. You know, there is something that Tinubu's lawyers and INEC lawyers don't know, that the law court is quite different from the normal public. You know, they think that they can come to the court and do anything they want to do and go scot-free. They think that they can come to court and start all these their campaigns of calumny that they've been doing against Peter Obi, all the lies and campaigns of negativity that they've been doing against Peter Obi, and think that they can bring such legs into the election petition tribunal, without knowing that that particular place, the judiciary, is quite different from your so-called campaigns of calumny and their evil campaigns that they've been doing against Mr. Peter Obi. As I'm talking to you now, there is very, very big trouble in the election petition tribunal. After Tinubu's lead lawyer, being Wole Olanipeku, and Tinubu, from getting to Tinubu's instruction at the end of the day, decided to lie, a petty lie against Mr. Peter Obi. And the tribunal judges, as a matter of fact, had to reprimand and had to caution Tinubu. In this particular video, I'm going to tell you the blatant lie this particular Tinubu's lawyers and Tinubu told in the election petition tribunal. And as a matter of fact, there is no true way that Tinubu will not be disqualified, because this is actually a big content to court. You can't come to the court and start telling lies as a matter of fact. Well, before we dive into the particular lie and before we dive into this particular case, if this is your first time of visiting this particular channel, don't hesitate, as a matter of fact, to click on the notification button so I get notified whenever I drop a new and important video here. Now, let's get straight to the point. As we all know, during Tinubu's lawyer's final written address, which he wrote to the court, he made a comment about causing anarchy within this particular country. You know, even that particular comment or statement went viral. A lot of people addressed it. We saw Rufai of Arise TV, and a whole lot of broadcasters had to analyze the statement, and many people criticized and condemned that particular statement that Wole Olanipeku, being Tinubu's lawyer, made in his final written address. He said categorically that if Tinubu is being disqualified because he didn't get 25% in FCT, that as a matter of fact, that there will be anarchy within the country. Well, let me read that particular part of the Tinubu's written address that he made. Then I will tell you the lie he made against, which provoked the tribunal judges and all that. Now let me read that particular passage. So that you guys will be sure that Tinubu made that particular statement in his comment, in his final written address, that if Tinubu is being disqualified because of he didn't get 25% in FCT, that there will be anarchy in the country. Now look at what he said initially. He said something. Let me, from the red circled part, he said, "May we draw the attention of the court to the fact that there is no punctuation or comma in the entire section of 134(2)(b), which is the section that said that people, that before you can be declared as the president, you must have, as a matter of fact, to 25% into third of all the states within the states in Nigeria and the Federal Capital Territory." So they are saying that that for the fact that there is no punctuation comma in the entire section of 134, which is that section I told you guys of the Constitution, particularly immediately after the states and the succeeding and connecting the Federal Capital Territory with the states. In essence, the reading of the subsection has to be conjunctive and not disjunctive. You know, we've stated that Tinubu's lawyer had to even accept that it is a conjunctive, meaning that both both situations must be satisfied before, you know, Tinubu can be declared as the president, which they mistakenly made here, and they didn't even know that they have admitted that Tinubu must have 25% in FCT before he will be declared lawyer. You know, I've treated this particular mistake they made, which gave Peter Obi's lawyers edge and advantage. I've treated before in my previous videos. So let's forge ahead from the reading. And he said that the subsection has to be conjunctive and not disjunctive, as the Constitution clearly makes it so. Press further, by this constitution imperative, the FCT is taken as if it is the 37th state. They are claiming that the FCT is the 37th state. Only them understands what they mean by that. Under and by the virtue of Section 299 of the Constitution. Now, they went further to say, with much respect, any other interpretation from this will lead to absurdity, chaos, anarchy, and alteration of the very intention of the legislature. Now, let me repeat that particular part. They said, with much respect, any other interpretation from this will lead to absurdity, chaos, anarchy, and alteration of the very intention of the legislature. Now, you could see where they use the word anarchy, and they started threatening the tribunal and everything. Now, after P2B's lawyer called the attention of the tribunal judges, look at the threat this particular Wole Olanipekin, being Tinubu's lawyer, is giving to Nigerians, the judiciary, and every other person that there will be anarchy if Tinubu is being disqualified because he didn't get 25% FCT. P2B's lawyer had to address that particular comment that Tinubu made in their own reply to Tinubu's final written address, and told the court that they cannot be intimidated, that Tinubu's lawyer cannot use intimidation and anarchy to intimidate Nigerians and prevent the judiciary from doing the right thing. Now, after the whole chaos and how people criticized Tinubu's lawyers and everything, they now came again to come and lie and cover up the crime and atrocity they committed. Now, in their final response to P2B's reply and everything, look at what they said. In the second part, this is the recent document they actually released in court yesterday. Look at how they addressed the lie, the anarchy threat that they gave to Nigeria. They said the foregoing leads us to page 1, paragraph 3 of the petitioner's address. We have, for obvious reasons as well, they have not only twisted but also quoted out of context and content the reference by the respondents to the Supreme Court's application of the word anarchy in a celebrated decision of the Apex Court. Now, they are trying to lie that they only used the word anarchy to reference a judgment that the Supreme Court gave. If you could recall, the previous in their own previous final written address I wrote here, they did not reference any Supreme Court. They were practically speaking about the 25% in FCT. Now, they are saying that the anarchy they mentioned there, that it was because they were referencing to a Supreme Court judgment, which is basically a lie. If you from the part we read before, you could see that there was no place they referenced the anarchy to the Supreme Court. They only made mention of if the court goes against Tinubu's 25% in FCT, that there will be anarchy, absurdity, and chaos, that they will cause it within this particular country. Now, they said they misquoted that, but also quoted out of context and content the reference by the respondents to the Supreme Court's application of the word anarchy in a celebrated decision of the Apex Court. This opening paragraph of theirs is uncalled for and also most unfortunate in several respects, including the use of the phrase invitation to anarchy. In paragraph 6.36 was a reproduction of the phrase employed by the Supreme Court in the celebrated case of Rosek v. ACB 1993. Now, they had to add a new lie to it. They said that the anarchy they mentioned in that particular context in their address was a reference to the Supreme Court. Now, they are the ones creating the judgment in the Supreme Court gave, creating a new idea. Meanwhile, that was not the context where they actually impeached and wrote down that there will be anarchy within the country. You could see how these Tinubu's lawyers are quite mischievous and very, very funny. Now, because they've seen the opera and how P2B's lawyers had to call the judiciary and the election petition tribunal judges to call Tinubu's lawyers to order for using the word anarchy if Tinubu is being disqualified for 25% in FCT. Now, Tinubu's lawyers had to come back to lie that the anarchy they used there was because they are trying to refer to a Supreme Court judgment, which they actually said in Rosek, which they did not mention when they used the word anarchy at the first place. The word anarchy was used together when they said that if the election petition tribunal goes against declaring disqualifying Tinubu, goes further to disqualify Tinubu for not having 25% in FCT, that there will be anarchy, there will be chaos, and there will be absurdity. They intentionally mentioned it there. And now they are coming out to lie that the anarchy they mentioned there was because they are actually referencing to a Supreme Court judgment. You can see how they are trying to toy with the sensibility and the intelligence of the Supreme Court justices. I believe that the right thing needs to be done, because the judges cannot be insulted and threatened and they will go scot-free like that. And the judges are not children to actually, you can toy with them and try to cover up a clear and a blatant statement that you made. This is a big affront to the judiciary. Now you're coming back to lie and to bring in something that was not even there when you made that particular comment. You can see how treacherous and how deceitful these people are. And that is why the Supreme Court, the tribunal judges are actually provoked, because they lied against P2B, because they are saying that P2B misquoted them. Meanwhile, P2B quoted what they said and actually addressed them the way it's supposed to be addressed. Now they are saying that P2B misquoted them. Meanwhile, they are the ones telling all sorts of